to study in the best institutions in the world where they can engage in those discussions and those debates. And for us, it's wonderful to see this happen in a concentrated form as it did in this conference. And I think it's an extraordinarily good use of our resources, and it promotes the goals of the program to support activities like this, which allow us to grope toward a common understanding, grope toward a common language, a way of using concepts that empower us instead of oppress us. Secondly, I would say that we heard a lot in many forms about the importance of social networks. And Min Kaufman and Lauren's work and others in Vietnam shows how effectively these principles have been carried beyond the stage of you as fellows into our alumni work. And as you know, we're working hard around the world to make sure that those re-entry challenges you face are not so daunting after all, that you have someone on the other side waiting for you so that you can continue their work. And I often think about, we don't really have the language yet, but I often think that social networks, we talk about building human capital, about social currency, and it strikes me that all of those are still economic metaphors. And we need to go a little bit beyond a simple economic metaphor, because it seems to me that I often think that social capital is the only kind of capital that the more you spend, the more you actually earn. So the purpose is not to accumulate it in the sense of individual accumulation, but to share it as broadly as possible. So IFP, we as a program are committed to this notion of social networking, social capital, not in the accumulative sense, but in the sense of sharing, of creating more bonds and cooperation, of extending this family, because as we have seen in today's talk, it's really only social movements that ultimately do change the world. And then thirdly, I would say a whole cluster of issues that is very important for us as a program are the reflections that John Ambler raised in his talk and have been referred to on a number of occasions, are all of the vexing and complicated questions around evaluation, around reaching goals, benchmarks, and ultimately about accountability. You know, in a very strict sense, we have to be accountable to our board of directors and the trustees of the corporation for the good use of these funds. But in a much broader sense, we are all accountable to one another for so we are very eager and supportive of efforts such as this meeting to raise these issues of accountability, to try to think jointly about, well, what is success? How do we know when we get there? How do we know that we have accomplished what we set out to, both you as individual fellows and us as the IFP program? So I would like to just thank all of you for your terrific participation. I would particularly like to thank all of our speakers. Roderick, you do have this honorary fellowship now, and I am seriously, I'm just so thrilled by being able to be here. Larry, thank you so much, and we know that we have good friends here at Brandeis. Thank you.